Hi everybody and welcome to today's session. I would like to start off with thanking you very much for taking time out of your day to spend with me on today's webinar. I hope that you will enjoy and find value out of the session here today. I see that there are many agents still logging in, so if you don't mind, I'd like to give them 2 more minutes just to get settled if that's okay with you. In the meantime, in the chat box on the right hand side of your screen, if you can let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Yes, it's going quite quickly here. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. That is absolutely, oopsie, I saw one there. Lynn, you said you can hear, but you can't see me. Lynn, if I can ask you just to hit the reconnect button at the top of your screen. This way you'll be able to reconnect into the webinar and hopefully that sorts out your issues. Okay, looks like we're basically all set to go. If you are struggling with any audio or video during the presentation today, please just hit the reconnect button at the top of your screen. This session is also being recorded, so we will send you a replay link directly after today's session. I see that many of you have started to chat in the chat box, which is great. For those of you who have not yet, please let me know in the chat box who is joining me here today and what part of South Africa you are calling from. Okay, we have Leon from Kloof. Welcome, Leon. We have Gerda from Langebaan. We've got Johnny from Bloberg. Sure, the numbers are going absolutely mad here. We've got Mupo, looks like it, from Woodbank. Let's see, we've got Elmarie from Sandton. We've got Gugu from Alberton. Nice to see you again, Gugu. We've got Bruce from Knysna. Let's see, we've got a couple from Knysna, some more from Sandton. We've got Gavin from Durbs. Welcome, Gavin. Good name you've got there. We have Caroline all the way from Bloem. Do we have anybody from KZN? Let's see. Lynn from KZN. Sure. Looks like we've got a full house of agents today, which is absolutely fantastic. For those of you I haven't seen yet, welcome anyway. It looks like we've got agents from all 4 corners in South Africa, which is fantastic. I'd also like to go over a bit of the housekeeping rules just to ensure that you get the most out of today's session. As you know, most PCs today battle with internet connection or speed. Unfortunately, that's just how it goes in South Africa. The more apps you've got open, the more bandwidth you're going to drain, the more interruptions you're going to have on today's session. So please, if you can turn off any apps like Skype, Outlook, Facebook, anything that is draining your internet connection that might slow or hinder your connection here today. I myself have been on many webinars and have been on webinars throughout South Africa in different locations, and I also understand that the internet speed varies from area to area. So the good news is we are recording this session today, so if you do have a poor signal or if you do get interrupted, the good news is that this webinar is being recorded and we will send you a replay link later on today. So the biggest thing that I'm probably going to ask you is to avoid any interruptions during today's session, is to please turn off your cell phone. This way you can fully concentrate on what you are about to learn. Also, if you have any questions, please type them in the chat box on the right hand side of your screen. My team today is joining me. Welcome team, thank you very much. They will be answering as many of the questions as they possibly can, as well as if you have any issues during today's session, they'll be able to answer it immediately. If they're not able to answer any of the questions, there will be a Q&A session at the end of today's webinar, at which point I'll be able to then cover them directly there. So very briefly, time is money, and I don't want to waste any of yours. You are here to find out how to transform your real estate business with McDonald's winning 5P strategy. A strategy that is in place in over 37,000 McDonald's stores worldwide. By the end of today's session, you will be able to implement your very own 5P strategy in your business. But let's get cracking. Also, today is a training session, so everybody who stays for the full 90 minutes will receive a non-verifiable CPD certificate to the value of 1.5 points in the professional category. Certificates will be mailed out within the next 7 days, so just give us a bit of time. If you are watching as a team or in a boardroom, please ask your principal to email us a copy of your signed attendance register, and we'll ensure that everybody gets a certificate. To help us stay focused and on track during the presentation, We'll also, like I said, have a Q&A session at the end. So please feel free to jot down any questions in the chat box, and either my team will get to them or I will work through them at the end in our Q&A session. I see that there are a few more agents just joining in, so welcome to you all. Very briefly, if you have any apps like Facebook, Skype, or Outlook, anything that might be draining your internet connection, switch them off now. I would also recommend that you put your phone on mute if possible. This way you can fully concentrate on what we are about to go over. And lastly, the session is being recorded, so if you have any internet issues, we will send you a replay link later on during the course of today. I bet this is one of your worst nightmares as an estate agent. You're driving down the street in your farming area and you see a for sale board outside one of your old clients' properties, and it is not your board. Or you go to the shops around the corner from your office and you bump into one of your old clients, only to hear them say that their sister has just bought a property around the corner from your office. You want to throttle them, but here's the question. Whose fault is it that you did not get that sale? Sadly, it's yours. You failed to keep in constant communication with your clients after you got your commission check. Think about this for a second. Who was the first client you ever sold a home to? Have you got them in your head? Do they still remember you? If not, what are the chances of you getting that repeat business or referral business from them? You were taught as a rookie agent when you first started out as an estate agent to keep in contact with your clients. But we all know that the reality is that most agents simply don't have the time to do it. We can do better than that. My name is Gavin Hendry and I'm the founder of Ready to Send. And for a living, I partner with estate agents to build their personal brand, multiply their referrals and repeat business by automating their client retention channels, radically improving their client relationships, and converting those once-off clients into clients for life. But what exactly is a client for life? Instead of closing the file on your clients after you receive that all-important commission check, you channel your energies into building lasting relationships with them. When the time comes, they seek out your services again. They've chosen you because you have a relationship with them. You've been on their radar, checking in with them, consistently offering them value, keeping them up to date. At the end of today's webinar, I will show you an easy way to automate your client for life strategy. So yeah guys, let's jump in. Today we're going to chat about how to transform your real estate business by looking at the business model we all know and love to admire, McDonald's. Now, you don't necessarily need to like their food, just their business model. And we all know that McDonald's actual business model is real estate. So I think it's pretty fitting for today's webinar. I'd like to show you what McDonald's did that exploded their business and how you can do the same in your real estate business. The objective of their plan to win strategy, introduced back in 2008, was not to be the biggest, but to be the best fast food chain in the world. It has been so successful that it is still used in all their stores today and is known as the 5 Ps. The 5 Ps provide each franchise with a model that guarantees higher quality customer experience. This plan is used in every McDonald's store and is the blueprint of top-notch customer service in any industry. Then I'd like to show you the easiest way to implement this strategy without changing anything that you are currently doing. Later in this webinar, I will show you how to automate various aspects of this strategy to get repeat business, referrals, and maintain your valued client relationship, and above all else, build a strong reputation that keeps you ahead and on top of the game. Stay with me to the end of the webinar, and I will also give you a copy of our free ebooks, my way of saying thank you for your time today. This will include our 100 calls to action for agents, ways to stay top of mind, and then a mind map of today's session. I will also include an extra bonus right at the end of today's webinar for those agents that stay to the very end. Right, I'm not the fairy godmother of real estate. I'm not here to wave a magic wand and suddenly 5x your business. I'm here to show you the strategies that will take time, dedication, and hard work, like most things in life. It's not a process you have to go through all alone. I'm also going to show you how to partner with the right people to get this done. But firstly, imagine if you had a bucket of water, and every time you attempted to fill this bucket, 90% of the water leaked out instantly, and all that remained was only 10%. How many times do you think you would fill this bucket? The answer, once. The first time you noticed the leak, you would take action. You'd either fix the bucket or you would replace it with another bucket, wouldn't you? And that's pretty much the same as how we learn. Have a look at the learning pyramid here. People retain approximately 5% of what they learn in a lecture. 10% of what they learn when they've learnt it from reading. 20% of what they've learned from audio-visual. 30% of what they learn when they see it in a demonstration. And 50% what they learn when they engage in group discussions. 75% of what you can learn when you practice what you've learned, and a whopping 90% of what you learn when you teach someone else and use it immediately. I would really like to see everybody here today to leave with a full bucket. So during the webinar, we'll show you a few examples to help you start creating your own strategies. What I'd recommend that you do is work through them as your homework. You really then can cement the concepts this way if you do it directly after our presentation today. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick it off with a short little video, and then we'll discuss this video once it's done.
Ready and action.
This is the most remarkable restaurant I've seen in all my years in the food service industry, and I've seen it all. I want to hear your story. Here you are. How the heck did you come up with this?
Oh, I didn't. We did. Dick McDonald, my brother.
Hi. Boy, I gotta tell you, this is the most... Well, it's nice to meet you.
The McDonald's brothers, what those two boys created, changed everything. This changed everything.
Care for a little tour? Speed. That's the name of the game. The first stop for every McDonald's hamburger is the grill, manned by two cooks whose sole job it is to grill those all-beef beauties to perfection. Meanwhile, as the patty cooks, our dressers get the buns ready. Watch out. Burger crossing. Burger crossing. Burger crossing.
Mac and Dick McDonald stumbled onto a new system to fix the ills of the drive-in business, essentially, which is what they were in when they started.
They're sort of the Henry Ford of fast food. So they developed this choreographed way that food could be made in 30 seconds rather than 30 minutes.
We wanted something different, and that's when my brother here comes up with one of his brilliant ideas. Tell him, Dick.
Orders ready in 30 seconds, not 30 minutes.
And you were going to love how we did it, Dick. You got to tell him.
Tennis court?
Okay. He brings me out to this tennis court, and he's drawn this line, the exact dimensions of our kitchen.
Sink on the right, extruder on the left.
Okay.
And Dick is running around with this stick, marking where all the equipment should be.
Tuck in. Tony, are you going to skip the pickles when we're really doing it? Yes. No. No. Ketchup! Use your lazy Susan. And pickles, and pickle, and mustard!
The Speed D system is born,
And it's off to the races.
and we are an overnight sensation 30 years in the making.
What are you doing? There's time to lean, there's time to clean. Let's go.
They didn't just create fast food as we know it, they had to invent all the things that we take for granted that didn't exist back then. So one of the things they did was they created a little machine, like a flour sifter looking kind of thing, that they would just push a button and the right amount of ketchup would drop right onto the bun every time.
Now, where'd you get those?
We made them.
Made them.
Yeah, custom built. Full kitchen is.
It's a really incredible story because it shows you the excitement of this company at the beginning and what it must have felt like to stumble on this for a businessman like Ray Kroc.
A fresh, delicious burger from grill to counter in 30 seconds.
What they started, it really created the thing, except that Ray Kroc saw it and saw the future.
You don't seem to realize what business you're in. You're not in the burger business. You're in the real estate business.
The McDonald's brothers, their future went about that far. Ray Kroc's vision of the McDonald's future was endless, was boundless.
It is a fantastic movie. I would highly recommend that if you've got a chance to go and watch The Founder. McDonald's most successful strategies in their organization are based on their 5 Ps. Promotions or plans, products, people, price, and places. So let's start with the plan. We all know the old saying, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. So McDonald's started with a plan to sell burgers at 15 cents. Not only that, but they also wanted to make every burger in under 30 seconds. Accomplishing this is what ultimately started their road to success. So how exactly did McDonald's get to 15 cents? And why did they settle on 30 seconds? Because they did the maths. They knew their costs and overheads, and they understood the market that they were operating in. This is the secret to success. You've got to know your numbers, and then you've got to perform the activities required to reach those numbers. Easier said than done though, but this is what sets top salespeople apart. They crunch their numbers and are committed to their plan. They understand the importance of knowing their expenses as well as planning their activities to produce the desired income. Once you know what you need, you will then be able to better determine what you must do to generate the required income. Once you've identified your high value activities, stay focused and work on them diligently every day to move you closer to your goal. You see, successful agents understand the importance of knowing their personal and business expenses, as well as planning their marketing activities to produce their desired income. Whether you are a full-time employee or an independent contractor, you need to identify your expenses to maintain your lifestyle. Once you know what you need, you'll be able to better determine what you have to do to generate the required income. The next 3 templates are a fantastic way to re-engineer your required annual income from the starting point of your daily activities, and this forms the basis of your plan. So you'll find these templates in the real estate planner we'll give you later on today. So firstly, you want to be able to calculate your expenses. So you want to write down absolutely every single one of your expenses that you have on a monthly basis. So your telephone, your desk fees, your memberships, any expenses that you possibly have. You also then want to go and write down your monthly living expenses. So your bond repayments, your car, your food donations, medical aid, any one of these sort of expenses you want to write down. Then you come to a total, which will be your net monthly income that you require. You divide that by 0.65, assuming that your tax rate is at 35%. This then gives you your gross monthly income. Multiply that by 12, and that will give you your annual income that you require to cover all of your monthly expenses. So now that you know how much money you need to earn, you now need to be able to figure out how you're going to get there. So you need to be able to determine what sort of commission you're going to be getting. So your average house price times your commission, your percentage that you receive, will be the total commission per sale. So for instance, in this example, let's say it's a 650,000 Rand house price times 8% commission. That will be 52,000 Rand commission per sale. Your next step is you need to calculate your split of the commission. So depending on if you're working for a company, do you get a 50% commission, 60, 70%? That's entirely up to you. So it's the total commission per sale times the percentage of your commission split will give you your percent. So if you're getting 52,000 Rand from the previous example times 50%, your commission out of the sale is 26,000 Rand. You now need to be able to calculate the number of sales you will require per year to be able to reach that goal from the previous slide. So the income goal from your previous slide divided by your commission gives you the number of sales that you require per year. So if your income goal from the previous slide was 572,000 Rand, divided by the commission per sale, which is 26,000 Rand, you need at least 22 sales per year. So now, how are you going to get to those 22 sales per year? You need to be able to calculate the number of prospects that you will need per year to achieve your sales goal. So the number of sales required per year will be X amount multiplied by 40, because that's the average prospect to sales ratio is 40:1, and that will give you the number of prospects per year that you will need. So again, 22 sales from the previous slide times by 40, you will need 880 prospects per year. Now you need to calculate the number of prospects you're going to need on a daily basis. So you'll take the number of prospects divided by 12 months, will give you 73 prospects per month. Divide that by 22 days, that will give you 3.3 new prospects that you will need on a daily basis. This means you'll need to interact with at least 3.5 new people every single day in a sales way to be able to generate that 572,000 Rand in commission. Right. Now that we know how much money you are planning to make in the next 12 months, you need to keep yourself accountable to reach this goal. I find that a flight plan is the best way in which to do this. You see, a couple of days ago, I flew from Johannesburg to Cape Town. The pilot at the beginning had a flight plan, a goal, to ensure that he landed at the destination. But setting the course at the beginning is not enough. He came across headwinds and tailwinds, turbulence that caused tiny little changes in the plane's heading. Over the entire trip, the pilot needed to check and adjust his heading to ensure that he stayed on track. You need to do the same in your sales, in your flight plan. And the sooner you can pick up that you're drifting off course, the smaller and less painful the corrections will be. Let me explain this to you. If you needed to earn 570,000 Rand over a 12-month period, you now know that in the next 2 months, you need to earn 95,000 Rand in commission. In month 4, 190, month 6, 285, and so on, in order to reach your goal. If in 2 months you haven't reached 95,000 Rand, you need to adjust what you are doing to make sure that you are staying on course. Schedule a regular review of your plan, at least quarterly, to be sure that you are still meeting your goals and staying on track. In this review, identify where you're not quite measuring up and immediately make the necessary changes to get back in line with your goals. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Now you know where you want to be, you need a plan of action to get you there. So, far too often people react to the day. They focus on urgent instead of the important. A clear business plan will give you activities direction and help you to stay on track. Directing your efforts towards the important activities will allow you to intentionally and systematically grow your business and build it into what you want. Take it one step at a time. Identify your goals as well as your strategies and your tactics you will need to have in place to achieve your goals. So what you're wanting to do is to take a spreadsheet like this. You want to identify what your goals are. So you want to increase your annual gross income by at least 20%. What are you going to do? What are your strategies and what are the tactics? Work through each and every one of these. What systems and tools are you going to need? How are you going to need to educate yourself to be able to achieve your various outcomes? So for instance, you can do what we call a daily planner. So I found a very, very good one by one of the real estate coaches in America by the name of Tom Ferry. So he goes through hour by hour what you need to do during the course of the day. So for instance, he wakes up between 5 and 6 in the morning. He goes to gym. He ensures that he's eating correctly. Between 6 and 8, he's got a morning routine to get himself ready for the day. 8 and 9, he does preps and review. Between 9 and 10, he does appointment settings, makes sure that he's got all his appointments for the day. Between 10:30 and 11, he takes a break just to be able to recharge before the next task. Between 11 and 12, he preps for his plans for the afternoon and his afternoon appointments, and he moves straight into his appointments and listing presentations. Between 4:30 and 5, he does his daily wrap-ups. 5 to 7, he will have supper, maybe do a bit of family time. Between 7 and 9, he does his personal time. Then at 9 o'clock, he ensures he gets a good night's sleep to be able to recharge for his following day. Right, so what exactly can you include in your weekly activities? So what we highly recommend that you do is find out as much information as you can on the tasks that you can do on a daily basis, so that when you've got extra free time on hand, you can then find, okay, right, let's try and schedule show houses for the upcoming week. Maybe you can go and create a video with highlights of your neighborhood. You can update your web profile or the social media pages, so that you're not sitting trying to figure out what it is that you can do. You can come to this list, pick one topic and do it. You then can also do what we call a monthly milestones. Get a chart of exactly what you're wanting to accomplish during the course of the month, and you want to then plot it out for your entire year. So how many leads do you want to generate in January, February, March? You want to be able to at least put down a number and then track to see how you are performing over the course of the month. Do you want to send out a monthly newsletter? Are you going to be doing Facebook marketing? Emails? Are you doing birthday, house anniversaries? How many are you doing on a daily, monthly basis? You want to then, how many follow-up calls or show houses? Once you've reached your goal for the set month, you then must reward yourself for each goal that you have accomplished. So set up right at the beginning what that reward is going to be, and then when you've hit it, ensure that you reward yourself.